There are only a few SUVs out there that are pretty much capable of doing everything. One of these SUVs is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, an SUV that stays true to its roots of its off-road prowess and ruggedness while still providing a comfortable nature for day-to-day driving. So let's go ahead and check out this 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Now, not much has changed for the 2016 model year for the Grand Cherokee. Essentially though, there is a new shift lever, a traditional kind of shift lever that remains in the selected position. And then the 3.6 liter V6 receives automatic start-stop technology. And our Grand Cherokee we have here comes with the 3.6 liter V6. Now, as far as styling goes on the Grand Cherokee, you still have the 7-bar slot grille from Jeep, which is a classic styling trait for the brand. And as far as styling goes, given as a whole of the vehicle, it's a rugged looking SUV, and many other crossovers and SUVs that you will find on the market nowadays somewhat look like minivans. Now, our Grand Cherokee trim we have here is the Laredo trim, and it comes with the 18-inch wheel group package, which comes with these 18-inch wheels, of course, and then you have the larger 8.4-inch touchscreen as well. Now, this generation Grand Cherokee was last fully redesigned in the 2011 model year, and it got a pretty big update in 2014, which included refreshed exterior and interior styling details, as well as updated technology too. Now, here goes the key fob design for the Grand Cherokee. It's your typical Jeep smart key. You have your remote keyless entry, your unlock, your lock, and then your panic alarm. Now, this color is known as the bright white, one of the most popular colors for the Grand Cherokee. It also does have smart key access on the driver's door as well as the front passenger door, which is standard equipment for the vehicle, no matter what trim you get. You also do have a beige cloth interior. Power driver's seat with power recline and power roll bar, of course. Alright, now stepping on inside of the vehicle here, you're greeted with a pretty stylish cabin design. And it's fairly luxurious, especially for a more basic trim for the Grand Cherokee. When you step on up to higher end trim levels, you can get nice stitching details, suede-like headliners, as well as premium leather seats too. But the step-in height is not too bad. It's much better than what you will find in a body-on-frame SUV like the Toyota 4Runner. Now, it does have push-button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And what you're hearing there is a 3.6 liter V6. Full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, we still have an 8-speed automatic, even though we do have a different shifter. Like I said, now it's a traditional kind of shifter and it remains in its selected position. You do have manual shiftability, and you also do have paddle shifters. When you put the vehicle into reverse, this will display your rear view camera with guidance lines. And you also do have trajectory as well as rear parking sensors. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights. You also do have your fog lights and the hazards. Driver's window and the front passenger window are fully automatic. Go ahead and pop up the hood, check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors, blind spot detection is available. Now, ever since the beginning, the Grand Cherokee has always been based on a unibody chassis, never being body on frame, even though it may have looked like it back in the 1990s. You have 18-inch alloy wheels. Your standard wheels are going to be 17-inch alloy wheels. Halogen projector beam headlights. LED daytime running lights are optional. And you also do have halogen projector beam fog lights too. All right, now powering the Grand Cherokee here, we have the standard engine. It's a 3.6 liter V6 that produces plenty of power. You're looking at 290 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPM. Like I said earlier in the video, a new feature with this V6 engine for 2016 is the automatic start-stop technology. Now an 8-speed automatic is going to be your only gearbox, and you can go with 4x2 or 4x4. Now the Grand Cherokee has two other optional powertrains available. Essentially there's a 3-liter turbo diesel V6 engine, and then there's a 5.7 liter Hemi V8 too. But this 3.6 liter V6 certainly provides enough passing power for the vehicle, and the 8-speed automatic transmission shifts pretty smoothly. Now there is one other powertrain available, however, nobody really goes for this trim level or this engine option. It's a 6.4 liter V8 that comes with the high performance SRT model for the Grand Cherokee, but most people are going to be satisfied with this 3.6 liter V6, and then if you want better fuel economy, just go for the diesel engine model. Now there are essentially 5 different trims for the Grand Cherokee. There's this base Laredo like how we have here, the Limited, Overland, Summit, and then the top of the line SRT. Now pricing starts for the Laredo at around $30,000 and then can easily move all the way up to 65 grand for the SRT model. Competitors of the Grand Cherokee, you're looking at mid-size 2-row SUVs. This includes the likes of the Ford Edge, Nissan Murano, Toyota 4Runner, as well as the Kia Sorento. On the top right here, you also do have roof rails, LED taillights, and then you have rear reflectors, rear parking sensors, rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, and a shark fin antenna. All of your basic power necessities, power door locks, power windows, power mirrors. We also do have chrome interior door handles. And these wood accents, Jeep likes to call them the open pore wood accents. All right, and let's go ahead and hear how that V6 sounds. V6 certainly has some grunt to it. Now build quality and materials are excellent inside of the Grand Cherokee here, and it's been pretty good ever since Chrysler introduced this generation Grand Cherokee in the 2011 model year. Materials, you have nice soft touch materials up here on the upper door panel, mid door panel, as well as the armrest. The dashboard is a nice softly padded material as well. Build quality is also excellent too. No panel gaps. The interior trim and pieces do fit well together for the most part. They don't creak a whole lot. Overall, this is a pretty well built interior. Now coming to the steering wheel design, I've always loved the newer steering wheel designs from Jeeps, and it has a very bulky steering wheel rim, which I love. Coming over here, we have your steering wheel mounted controls for the information center, which I will get to in just a second. And then your steering wheel mounted audio controls are located on the back of the steering wheel. You also do have your voice recognition and your Bluetooth phone controls, and then your cruise control buttons are also located right there. What's also pretty interesting is that you have this little Since 1941 logo, which is pretty cool. Up here you'll also find your auto dimming rearview mirror with roadside assistance. Then you have your map lights, little sunglass container too. Headliner is also nice and plush. Like I said, you can get suede like headliner on higher end trim levels. Down here you will find a little storage cubby, and then this is where you'll find your USB port, your auxiliary input, and an SD card slot. We also do have a 12-volt power outlet down there, and you can hide it if you want to. You have dual cup holders, and then another little storage compartment. Center console, it is also nice and soft touch and stitched. Down here you'll find a decent amount of center console storage, and then you have a 12-volt power outlet down there, and it's also lined with felt, which is pretty high quality. That's nice. Now the seats in the Grand Cherokee are pretty comfortable and pretty good for long road trips. However, they are quite firm. I wish they had more plushness to them, but they offer a pretty decent amount of support on the side bolsters right here. The thigh support is excellent as well. I wish there was a little bit more support right here, however, on the side bolsters. Now, as far as visibility goes, visibility is pretty good out of the Grand Cherokee. The A-pillars are a little thick, but seeing out of the front windows is pretty easy, and then seeing out of the windshield is also pretty easy too. There's lots of visibility through the windshield. When you get to rearward visibility, it's not too shabby. It can be a lot worse. A lot of crossovers have sleek styling, but the Grand Cherokee is a fairly boxy type of SUV, so the visibility back in the rear is not too bad. Now, coming to the gauges in the instrument cluster in the Grand Cherokee, as a somewhat traditional kind of setup, but the first thing that strikes you is this big old TFT instrument cluster, which is standard on all trims for the vehicle. On the left, you have your tachometer, and then on the right, you have your coolant temperature as well as your fuel gauge. Now, in the center, this is where you'll find your speedometer, and it's all controlled by the buttons on the steering wheel. Now, you have a digital speedometer, or you do have this analog version too, and then you can select between miles per hour or kilometers per hour. And then it also shows you what gear you're in on the right, and then you have your exterior temperature readout, and it shows you your direction of travel. Now right here, it shows you various amounts of vehicle information, such as your tire pressure monitoring, transmission temperature, oil pressure, and your oil life percentage, and your battery voltage. Lots of information. And then shows you your fuel economy. It shows you a little bar. You have your average fuel economy too, and it shows you your current MPG, which is nice. And you have your fuel range too. Down here, this is where you'll find your trip information. Then you have your automatic start stop if you want to turn that on or off, or you could do it by this button right here too. And then right here it shows your audio. You could change your different audio source from here, and then select your song or whatever. It shows you what song is playing, what radio station is playing. Then you have your messages, any stored messages. And then you have your setup right here. You have your gear display, compass, current gear, and your favorite menus too. Overall, nice little TFT instrument cluster, but it's nice that it does come standard on all Grand Cherokees. Now right here is where you will find your parking sensors off button, and then you have your automatic start stop off. So when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, the engine will actually shut off to save a little bit of fuel. Then you have your eco off button, and then your sport on too. Shows you right here if your sport mode is on. Then you have your traction control off button right there. The climate controls have big knobs and big buttons, and they're fairly easy to read and pretty simple to use too. It's a pretty clean looking layout here. Now you do have dual zone automatic climate control. Your fan speed is with the center dial, and then you have your temperatures for the driver and then the front passenger. And it shows you up here what temperature you're at too, or you could select it on the Uconnect touchscreen. Then you have your front window defroster, rear window defroster, recycling mode as well. However, if you do want to change your different zones for the climate control, you have to go to the Uconnect touchscreen. Alright, now let's get to the head unit and the multimedia interface. Now this is the Uconnect interface, and it's the larger 8.4 inch touchscreen. Now pretty much every Grand Cherokee is going to come with this 8.4 inch touchscreen, unless if you go for a fairly basic Laredo. Now your different media sources do include all of the norm here. We have your USB port with iPod integration, your auxiliary input, Bluetooth streaming audio, and your SD card slot, but who's really going to use that? And then you have your AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, and then you have your audio right here. This is where your equalizer settings are. The responsiveness of the Uconnect touchscreen is just superb. It's one of the best in the business, and the intuitiveness of this touchscreen is also excellent as well. Now, what I love about this system is that you have direct tune, and so you can just go like this, type in the station you want, and then it goes directly to your station, or you could do it by voice if you would like as well. And so you don't have to use this tune knob all the time, which is cool. Coming to controls, if you do opt for heated seats as well as the heated steering wheel, this will appear up on controls. However, we don't have it here, but your auto dimming rearview mirror does appear up on here. And then you have your Uconnect apps through your 3G Wi-Fi hotspot. You have AHA, iHeart, all that good stuff. And then you have your app manager. And then you also do have Yelp, Slacker. Of course, if you do get the Wi-Fi hotspot, it's a subscription service that you have to pay every month. Now, you do have the climate control, and like I said, you can control it, all your climate from the Uconnect touchscreen. Then you could turn the touchscreen off if you would like. If you want to turn it back on, just touch it again. Then you could pair your phone, have your Bluetooth phone connected, have all of your contacts stored on here, and have an integrated dial pad. Up here, it also shows your exterior temperature readout, what station is playing, your digital clock, direction of travel. Now, driving the Grand Cherokee, I think the best part about driving this vehicle is its very comfortable ride quality. It has a luxury car-like ride quality, and it soaks up road bumps fairly well. You can barely feel any jolts or bumps come in through the cabin, which is nice. Now, the steering and the handling is also pretty good, especially for an SUV, and it feels kind of light on its feet, and it feels pretty nimble. You could feel for where this vehicle is trying to go. It's very predictable, and this Grand Cherokee is also fairly easy to park too. It doesn't feel as big as the Ford Explorer or even the Toyota 4Runner. The Toyota 4Runner feels bigger to drive than the Grand Cherokee here. Now, the 3.6 liter V6 certainly provides enough power for the vehicle. You do not need more power. However, if you want, you can go for the 5.7 liter Hemi V8, which has great grumble to it, and it's pretty fast. And the 8-speed automatic, while it's not the most responsive automatic transmission in the business, it's still quite responsive overall. Overall, I think driving the Grand Cherokee is quite a joyful experience. All right, and let's go ahead and shut it down. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Build quality and materials do follow through in the rear. Still have the nice open pore wood accents. Now, if you're looking for third row seating in the Grand Cherokee, you have to look elsewhere because the Grand Cherokee does not offer third row seating. You have to go with the Ford Explorer or even the Grand Cherokee's platform mate, the Dodge Durango. Now, the second row seats also do recline, which is nice. When you step up to the limited trim, you do get heated rear seats back here too. Now, sitting back here, there's plenty of room, plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom back here. And then you have dual map pockets, rear air vents, and a rear center armrest with cup holders. The seats themselves are quite comfortable back here. Thigh support isn't too shabby, and it's pretty good for long road trips, and the rear headrests are adjustable. Alrighty. You do have a 12-volt power outlet back here, and the rear seats do fold down, of course, to maximize cargo space, and you do have a full-size spare tire. A power lift gate is also optional too. Cargo space isn't too bad back here in the Grand Cherokee, but it's not the best SUV, mid-size SUV in terms of cargo space. Full manual passenger seat. Glove box compartment, nice and damp, and it's lined with felt. So the Jeep Grand Cherokee is one of the best mid-size SUVs you could buy. It can pretty much do everything and pretty much competes with almost every mid-size SUV out there, whether it's a luxury SUV or a non-luxury SUV. With its very comfortable and serene ride quality, its comfortable interior with lots of technology and luxury goodies available, and its superior off-road prowess, there's almost a Grand Cherokee to fit everyone's needs. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.